Alright, welcome back to Frieren, Anime Review, episode number 17. We're here reviewing the 33rd episode series, Logistics on a Northern Plateau. This episode covers chapters 69 and 70 of the Frieren manga and concludes continued travels on the Northern Plateau arc. By the way, next arc is only 6 chapters. That's going to dab. And it's going to be next week. And I'm guessing it's probably the one concluded the season because the arc that comes after the next arc is like 30 chapters. So that's what I'm going to say for season 3 if they do see. I hope they do season 3 because I really enjoy this one. So basically, here's kind of what happens. So Frieren, Fern, and Stark are just in a town for a while. Basically, first half episode focus on this one thing, and it basically feels like 2 stories in one episode. So the first half episode is this. So the 3 are just in town, this town for a while, they finish shopping, and then they run into a friend of Frieren's, who is voiced by who's not voiced by Chris Guerrero, and I can tell by this voice. This is Clifford Champton. Yep, Clifford Champton is back in the series. This time not voicing, actually he does voice Heimdall in the flashback, but he does not voice. He does also voice this dwarf because the air dwarf is by Chris Guerrero. And of course, it's been like a century. So Frieren's like, it's only been 80 years. It's like, well, of course that'd be true. Yes, 80 years. Of course, they do bring up the fact that in one of the cards they have this episode is that it's been 30 years since the death of Heimdall. So I'm guessing they probably did it from the last time we saw Heimdall. Maybe. So they do show basically he was looking for this particular alcohol that Frieren describes as terrible. There's also this brief scene with this elf named Meliana, I think that's how you pronounce her name. She's an old friend of Frieren's, and I can tell by that voice, and I try looking it up, but there's no credit basically for this. And stay in the Crunchyroll, this will do this. This is the second time I've seen this happen for this particular voice actor. Even though I can clearly tell who this is, that's Monica Real. Yep, I can easily tell that elf is voiced by Monica Real. And for some weird reason, Crunchyroll does not want to release who the credit is. This is the second time I've seen this happen with her. Where she is voiced, clearly it's her voice, but yet Crunchyroll refused to release credit for that particular character. Last time was the character simply identified as Princess from Goblin Slayer. Yes. So after they chat for a bit, and then we cut the present day where, we spent pretty much breaking down this door to get this particular alcohol. At first, Frieren says no, because too tough for her, and of course, she wasn't good more. This looks like a friend is willing to pay 200 gold pieces. And Fern and Stark are like, yeah, we'll take the money because they are struggling for cash. That's not the case by the end of the episode because basically it reveals like, what? Yeah, seriously. So they break in and it turns out the alcohol is pretty terrible. Frieren knew about this ahead of time. So I'm still at the end and they go into the next town, which of course they would be here for a while. They'd be here for a little, move on. But then, of course, they're basically brought before the president of the Northern Company. This is a trading company, mind you, a merch company, where he is the grandson of someone Frieren met years ago in Teo's job with the Hero Party. And apparently, she owes them a lot of money. And she apparently did pay him a lot of money, because apparently, yeah. Yeah, paying her a lot of money. Yeah, paying them a lot of money. And pays the sum, but disappear all of it. So, put her in the mines. Take away all her possessions. That's why she gets some of her staff later on. And then it turns out that the guy is actually a pretty decent person. And apparently she had to find what they're looking for in Civil War, and then she's able to go, and of course Fern and Stark were planning on breaking out anyways, and then of course with stuff paid off, they just move on. And that's the episode. It's a pretty good episode, nothing wrong here per se. It's just that didn't feel that interesting per se. And I actually have been trying for the past couple hours to get this video done, but my laptop wasn't exactly cooperating. I had to reboot this computer twice in order for it to work, because I get some stuff up and that thing freezes for no reason. But yeah, not much to say about this. So that's pretty much it for the video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, to notifications. Next time we have one Comic Corner, and then it is on to Trigon Stargaze. And then I did my Tutujoku series right after that, and then finally get back to watching Togen Aki for a little bit and start up a couple of anime, okay? But in this video, bye.